At the bottom of the world, on the southern coast of New Zealand, just one crew is willing to risk it all.
You've got great white sharks, you've got 7 gillers. You never know what's going to come up and on you.
Fuck! With a global industry worth almost $500 million a year, there's fortunes to be made, chasing one of the world's most sought-after delicacies.
I've probably just made $600 in about an hour and a half.
The sea urchin.
But that's why they call it Spiky Go.
For huge paydays,
It's 13 hours.
they're pushing the limits. Diving up to 75 feet on one breath.
I have flapped out.
It's one of the world's most dangerous professions. Mistakes can be deadly.
Oh, you've got glass for a big shark, eh? I'll go in there, pull his tail, I'll give you $20.
But these divers are some of the best
He's the best spear fisherman in New Zealand, and I'm right on his tail.
and hungriest
Fucking gun it! Fucking monster!
in the world.
We go hard.
What happens when you hold your breath for 5 seconds?
One boat, 2 teams.
That fucker ahead of me.
The race is on.
Fuck, this is good fun, man.
It's a stunning winter's afternoon in Bluff Harbour as the crew ready the southern leader for a quick turnaround mission. Skipper Dwayne Herbert has an order that needs filling immediately, so the plan is to head out and back in just 36 hours, half the time they normally go for.
We've got an order of 18 dough labs to fill, which is about the maximum we can take on the southern leader. To get that much in such a short time, we need 3 crews, which means 3 dinghies, and even then we're asking a lot. Righto. Stop.
Not helping the situation is the fact that 2 of his best divers are missing in action. The well-liked Dion left the crew a few weeks back.
I'm out of here.
Hopefully we can entice them back and get them back on the boat and part of the team again.
And Dwayne's top dog, Raymond, is nowhere to be seen. It's Monday, and like most sailors his age, he's made the most of the weekend back at port.
I sunk way too much piss in the weekend. I slept through my alarm, so I'm going to have to gun it straight down to the boat before I miss it.
Thankfully, he's getting into the zone with some good old southern tunes.
So it's very much a work hard, play hard scenario with the boys. They can go and do whatever the hell they like on their days off. I don't really care what they get up to, as long as they turn up to work, ready to work.
It's 5 days on and 2 days off. It's a 40-minute ride.
It's a 20 minutes ride to Bluff. It's fucking 5 days on, half a day off. For fuck's sakes, I'm in a hurry here. Go back to the retirement home.
Downtown, go downtown, downtown. Yeah, downtown.
Hey boys, how you getting on? Let's face it, the boat wasn't going to leave the wharf without their cheese slayer on board.
Now that everyone is accounted for, the southern leader cruises out of Bluff Harbour in perfect winter conditions. At the helm, Dwayne is making a last-minute decision on tonight's destination.
I'll catch you later. Just talked to a mate down west side of Stewart Island where we were going to head. But he's told us there's a big roll there, so we won't head that way. We'll carry on up towards Fiordland and scratch along there and look for some urchins.
The spot they're headed to is called the Green Islets, which is a relatively short 9-hour voyage from Bluff Harbour. A cluster of rocky outcrops, the Green Islets are a consistent spot when they need to fill an order quickly. But there is concern about whether the spot will yield a good return by some of the crew.
So it's a really good spot usually that really provides, but we've pulled hundreds of tons out of that one area. I think it needs a rest.
The skipper, on the other hand, has a different theory.
The way I said, if you have a load of urchin in one area, the species doesn't need to reproduce because there's not enough food and there's plenty of the species. But if you go in there and wipe out half of them and leave half of them there, suddenly they go, our species is under threat. We need to reproduce to keep our species going. So they build up all this row and then we come in and take them.
Hopefully that theory turns out to be true, because if it doesn't, Dwayne's urgent order could very well go unfilled. The sun hasn't made it over the horizon, but the deck of the Southern Leader is alive with activity.
So we arrived here about 1:30 last night. It's a nice steam up, pretty flat the whole way, no wind. Conditions are pretty good today. It's a bit of a swell, but boys are up early and ready to get into it, so it should be a good day. Hopefully the urchins are fat.
An hour later, and there is enough light to get going. The team to beat, as always, is Red Dog and Raymond.
I've always said I don't do my job 100% for the money. I do it because it makes me a very good diver, and I do it because I get to work with a whole heap of bloody awesome people. No, I wouldn't change my job any day of the week. I go to work because I want to go to work.
Cheers, bro. Job bag up there, bro. Yeah, nah, I'm all sort of everything.
Team 2 have a combined age of just 32.
Oh, Spiky, you want to get some kits sorted, bro, and some downlines, please?
Storm is paired up with his schoolmate George, who was on his maiden voyage with the crew last week.
My name's George Peak and my nickname's Spiky.
After being tormented by the crew
he's straight off the farm from Middlemarch.
and a rocky start with the skipper,
Bit of trial and error throwing the net. He kind of threw the wrong end at me.
George found his sea legs, and it wasn't long before he was accepted into the team.
That's the one.
He's running his own dinghy for the first time today, and he knows exactly what it's all about.
Pretty keen to get out there and get into it, make some money, always.
And Storm's youthful confidence is there to match.
We never dove here before, so it's a bit of a new experience, but we're going to be good. We're going to keep up with Raymond and hopefully win, you know.
Every time, that's your goal. Good on you. It'll take a year and you'll be up there, man.
Storm's really following my example. He's real competitive, which is great, as long as he doesn't beat me.
But of course, not to be left out is the captain.
Some new beats to try today.
He's teamed up with fellow veteran Glenn, and it's not just sea urchins they're after. Dwayne is hoping to spear some butterfish. It's a market he's been trying to grow since he was recently granted a permit to do so.
Spearfishing as a method is one of the most green ways of fishing there is. Well, it is the most green way because you actually select each fish that you want to take. You can't argue about the sustainability issues and the effect on the environment and the bycatch because there is none, it's good.
Considering Dwayne has been a spearfishing champion of New Zealand 7 times, it sounds like a very viable enterprise for him indeed. The first spot he chooses does have a lot of fish, but unfortunately not the ones he wants. So the spear gun is quickly replaced with the urchin rake. Back on the Southern Leader, Raymond is suited up and raring to go.
We're not here to fight spiders. I know where I'm going, I know what I'm looking for, so yeah, I'm pretty confident today will be a bloody good day.
A refreshing douse for the young guns, and Team Ginger Dog is off. The Green Islets are one of the few areas that the team have to share with other commercial fisheries. One such industry is crayfish.
Fuck me, I'm fucking sick of that.
They're annoying, eh?
So you got lazy cray fishermen that just fucking leave their pots everywhere. A good cray fisherman, when he moves his gear in shallow, he'll coil the rope up. A lazy will push it over and let every other just drive straight over them.
First spot selected, and Raymond gets straight into the action. This is an area he knows well, and he's immediately on the money.
We've hammered the green islets in the past, so I was real apprehensive, but so far things look like they've recovered real well.
Motoring out to get started last is Storm and George. This is new territory for them, so it's going to be a case of trial and error to find a good spot. And the youngsters are going to have to be careful. This is a rocky area with shallow, surging waters. Without a moment's notice, they could easily find the dinghy smashed into the rocks. The crew of the Southern Leader are on a fast turnaround mission in the Green Islets. Dwayne needs 18 dough labs from his 3 teams in just 8 hours.
Should be a good day. Hopefully the urchins are fat.
But he also intends on sparing a bin or 2 of butterfish, meaning the bulk of the load will have to be collected by Team Raymond and Team Storm. The race is now on to see if it's the A team or the young upstarts that will collect the most urchin. Raymond made a great start and already filled the first of his 2 dough labs. Storm and George are at a disadvantage as this is a new location for both of them. Having chosen a shallow spot to start with, they're in danger of ending up on the rocks. As for the urchins, not what they are hoping for.
The first spot we jumped in at was not too flash. The urchins were real scattered and the row was really small, which made it hard work.
They will need to find a better area and fast if they're going to have any chance of keeping up with the other crews. Not far away, Raymond is fighting shallow water surge, but raking up fat urchins. And he's also discovering why they ran over a crayfish pot earlier. The place is littered with them.
When I see a good patch of crays, I can't really help but grab a few. It's a tasty snack for dinner, so why wouldn't you?
But while Raymond is getting distracted by all the crayfish, across the bay, Storm has struck gold.
Yeah, I was starting to get a bit worried there. I was falling behind a bit, but I found a mint patch. So yeah, I was away from then. It was great.
Finding their rhythm, the young bucks work together seamlessly, quickly gaining back the ground they lost searching for a spot. But just quietly, it's been the veterans leading the way. With 2 experienced divers on the 1 dinghy, this is already their 2nd time back to the Southern Leader with their 3rd bin.
Glenn filled up a bin pretty quick and I didn't find any butterfish. So we're going to have to back to the drawing board and head the other way, I think.
Building up the market for butterfish is a great supplement for Dwayne's business. Because so few fishing boats operate in this part of New Zealand, the stocks of fish and other seafood like crayfish and abalone are plentiful. Diving for urchins is by far the most lucrative enterprise, but for Dwayne, bringing his passion and talent for spearfishing into the mix is an ideal situation.
Hey, Green Bowman, it's a decent makey out there.
Butterfish is going good. It's like so much fun. Economically, it's proven to be a tough one. You'd need about 100 fish per day per diver. Being able to spear as many butterfish as you can and make it viable financially. Hopefully we can make it work down the track, you know, figure out a quicker, streamlined method, really.
Finishing off their first 2 bins, Raymond and Red Dog head back for the first time, and they've brought some familiar tunes along for the ride.
Downtown, not uptown. Take 440, loop around town, go downtown, downtown.
The urchins are pretty fat, so yeah, can't complain. Doing pretty well. Good start to the morning, and just going to keep chipping away, getting a 12-week along here. So she's all a race.
As always, there's no mucking around with Red Dog. It's balls to the wall, and his competitive nature is ferocious.
We got Dwayne and Dwayne on the boat, so fuck, we actually real need to get into it because they're real greedy, man. We're doing all right though. Two of Southland's top divers, and we're fucking only just behind them, and there's one ahead.
And to feed Red Dog's appetite further, he spotted that Dwayne has overfilled his bins.
But what happens when you got to unload them and the forklift puts them on top of each other?
Thankfully, Raymond has a solution to the dilemma.
Oh, chirp, my G, Dwayne. Oh, chirp, right? Yeah. Don't fool this, my word. You can't overfill your bins too much, otherwise, when you go to unload them on the wharf, Murray and the forklift ends up putting them too high, and all you can hear is just urchins crush. That's dollars gone. We can't have that, so me and Raymond might as well capitalise on a wee bit of that. I hope his killers aren't shit. Oh, you're not too bad. I've seen worse.
Blatant robbery complete.
And a concentration going on.
Followed by a bit of skillful crane operation.
Yes, nailed it. Yeehaw!
And the A-team are off for round 2.
Right, Judge the dog, got some more bloody dollars in there and gonna keep flying it, eh?
But it's Dwayne and Glenn that continue to set the pace, pulling up kit after kit, and are now close to filling 5 dolabs between them for the morning. Also in good form, Storm and George have been working at a steady pace and are ready to head back to unload.
Started a bit slow, but we got onto them at the end, and that's good. But the quality's a bit average, so see if we can find some better ones next round.
Yeah, pretty good, eh? A few kinners. I've seen Raymond drop a couple off before me, but he started early, so, should be going all right. Which way, Peaky?
Storm is actually only 20 minutes behind Raymond. A quick changeover now will see him gain even further ground. A push here, a shove there, and the boys are on their way.
See you later.
Just as the skipper and Glenn pull up for their 3rd time.
That was much easier. Moved to another spot that was a bit more shallow. Your urchins are out. Bigger size than the last one.
Dwayne's appropriately chuffed for the morning's efforts, and even grabbed himself a sack of crayfish.
There's abundance of them around. We've got a party on, so we need some.
Considering that crayfish or lobster sell at market for $120 a kilo, it would be rude not to. While Dwayne's team unloads, out on the water, a game of cat and mouse is beginning to ensue. Raymond and Red Dog have half a dolab, but are now being pursued to their next spot by Storm and George, who are taking an inside track and now overtaking them for pole position.
Hate to say it, he's no threat at the moment, but give him a year, man, I'm going to be fucking pulling my hair out.
Red Dog could be pulling his hair out a lot sooner than that. At the rate that Storm and George are working, it's looking like the pack leader could be replaced within the next few hours. It's been a whirlwind trip for the crew of the Southern Leader. With a capacity order to fill and limited hours to do so, the divers have worked at a frantic pace all day. With Dwayne in search of butterfish, the competition between Team Raymond and Storm has been fierce.
We're going to keep up with Raymond and hopefully win,
After the last pit stop,
Oh, chirp, right? Yeah! Don't fool this, don't fool.
Storm has closed the gap on his mentor and is less than half a bin behind. But as always, experience is key, and quality is more important than quantity.
You got to check all your urchin. You can't just jump in the water, find a whole patch and think, fuck yeah, I'm on the money. Generally, those really big patches are shit. The really good patches are the ones where there's fuck all of them, and you've got to work hard for it. It's the way the ocean works. It doesn't just give it to you for free.
Pushing hard to keep pace, Storm goes deep. A quick test of the goods, and unfortunately, this isn't exactly what he's after.
There wasn't really much at the next spot. that's the trouble when you don't really know the area. So I guess I just have to sort of, you know, see where Dwayne and Raymond are and sort of mark it off them. When you're competing with someone like Red Dog, yeah, he doesn't tend to give much away, which is a bit of a bummer.
Raymond, on the other hand, is really hitting his stride, filling his nets at lightning pace and again grabbing a few crayfish while he's at it. Two full doe labs in 2 hours, and Raymond and Red Dog are back to unload at the southern leader.
Driving slowly, coming right over Red Dog. That's the one. Slowly getting there. Probably smoked like fucking half a packet of 50 gram in the weekend, so the lungs are a bit dusty on it. And
You were a bit slow this morning, I could tell. I was like, fuck, what's going on? There must be fuck all down there. And I'll give you a couple of hours and so boom into it now. It's 1 o'clock, so yeah, we got a bit of time to make up for now, but fuck, Raymond's in the game. He's fucking on to the money now, so make me rich. All right.
As the gentle job of unloading the urchins begin, skipper Dwayne has forced Raymond and Red Dog into a difficult decision as to where to place the doe labs.
yeah, we just got to show you what happens when certain members of our crew fill their doe labs up a bit too much and get a bit too greedy. It's something like this. Oh no.
Fuck, look at that. Oh no, let's listen some more. Oh yeah. You can't teach common sense, but then there's people that make money on people that don't know that.
Bloody ruthless, ginger dog.
With just 3 more hours of diving left in the day, a good run now would see them finish with another 3 doe labs to give them a total of 7 for the trip, leaving Storm stranded on 6. Working at a more subdued pace now, Dwayne and Glenn have put down their urchin rakes for the day and picked up their spear guns.
If I get the chance, I'll always go spearfishing. The boys have been going well on the urchins today. So I've got a couple of hours up my sleeve, so I'm going to sneak off and shoot some fish. To be a good spearfisherman, I suppose you've got to have a bit of hunting instinct in you. Butterfish in general aren't very hard fish to spear. It's a numbers game. Just keep spearing them till you get the quantity you need.
Around the corner, Storm and George are at full throttle and taking advantage of some solid patches.
Yeah, things got real good as the day went on, you know. It's what we're after, you're finding good urchins, and yeah, I can't really ask for anything else than that.
After a top effort, they're full up again and back to the southern leader to unload bins 3 and 4 for the day.
We found some shallow urchins this time, and yeah, just went hard, and they're actually pretty decent quality, so yeah, it should be good.
There's still a good 2.5 hours of dive time left in the day. Plenty of time to capitalise before the ship is locked down for the journey home.
Don't leave so far. You can average about an hour a bin, you're doing real well. So 6 hours diving, 6 bins, you know, that's a good $800 for the day, which is always great. Right, should we crack it, Piggy?
Raymond and Red Dog are on a prime spot of urchins. Only problem is the water here is shallow and navigating through a garden of boulders is no easy task.
When you're working in a place such as Green Islets, you really got to be watching out. Don't want to lose the prop off your motor. Your outboard doesn't seem to go very well without a propeller.
Raymond, on the other hand, doesn't seem concerned about the rocks at all. With an abundance of fat urchins and crusty friends walking about on the seafloor, he's in his happy place.
Visibility was great. There was heaps of fat urchins in shallow. I was going hard and kicking everyone's ass.
Last kit full, and that's 6 doe-labs for Team Red Dog. With less than an hour of dive time remaining in the day, Red Dog guns it for the southern leader, leaving Raymond to keep working. It's always dangerous towards the end of the day when divers are fatigued.
One more bin for the day, so fuck it, we thought, oh well, leave Raymond in the water. By the time I get back, we're already 3/4 done, so.
Which is all very well in theory, but if Red Dog doesn't complete the changeover quickly, Raymond will soon find himself stranded in the ocean with nowhere to go. It's been pedal to the metal all day for the 3 teams of the Southern Leader. Raking up fat urchins, spearing fish, and ripping up a few crayfish. The teams have almost loaded the ship to capacity. There is less than an hour of dive time remaining, and leading the race is Team Raymond to make sure they beat Team Storm. Red Dog has returned alone to unload and pick up the last empty doe-lab to ensure that his team remain the top dogs. But he has to move quickly, or risk leaving Raymond stranded in the water.
One more bin for the day, so fuck it, we thought, oh well, we'll leave Raymond in the water. By the time I get back, we're already 3/4 done, so.
On top of the urchins, Raymond's been busy collecting good-sized crayfish, and he's not done yet. Trying his hand at a spot of cave diving while he's at it too.
Raymond's done really well now. Even better, he knows the day's pretty much over. Fuck, as soon as he knows the day's over, he's like, fuck yeah, get in there, let's get done. Wish it could be like that all day, every day though.
Despite his diver floating about in the water, Red Dog still finds the time to spin some yarns about the Southern Leader.
Remember when Dwayne first bought this boat, which was maybe like 2 years ago? Man, everything was up to fuck 8. We didn't have a high ab, we had to hand lift every fucking thing off this boat. And you'd hope and pray that it was high tide, otherwise it was taking you fucking hours.
One last scrape for Raymond, and he's filled his kit. All he can do now is float around and wait for Red Dog to come and pick him up.
Put a carpet on and I'm out of here. Got the luxury today, urchins. Got a blanket. Look after your money.
Looking after your money is one thing, but maybe looking after your diver should be a priority too. Not far away, Storm and George have been relentless in their pursuit of spiky gold, racing the clock and finding some fat urchins to finish the day on.
The longer the day went on, the urchins just got better and better, which is awesome. You know, you can't ask for anything else than that. I got to sort of know the area and made quite a bit of money, so, you know, I'm pretty stoked with that.
And just like that, the job is done. 6 big bins of urchins in the bank on a school day.
I come out on every trip I can, and sometimes I don't actually like going to school, so I'd rather be out here in any sort of weather, to be honest.
Red Dog has finally rendezvoused with Raymond, whose hard work has all but filled the final doe-lab. With a few more urchin to fill the bin, Red Dog and Raymond are quick to congratulate each other.
Oh, I reckon we're doing a good weekend out on the piss.
Yeah, fuck, are we having a weekend on the pitch?
Oh, we are, mate. Come round to my house and just got to sort it out.
Good shit. Problem is, it's only fucking like Tuesday, we've still got another 3 or 4 days.
Job done, and the teams race back to the Southern Leader.
Me and Raymond did all right for the day, as we do. We actually thought that the urchins weren't going to be that good at all. We were ho-humming about it, you know, but if you set your standards low, you're never disappointed.
The water temperature here is a chilly 40 degrees Fahrenheit.
Looking forward to a hot shower now.
A quick unload and a careful tie down of the cargo for the ride home is all that remains to do.
Right, I'll get some strops on, eh? Get ready for the shit trip home. It's going to be about 3 meters of roll, so it might get a bit exciting, so need to get this stuff stropped down real good. God, I love this boat, eh? It's rusty as fuck. Classic saying when you do a strop up, that's not going anywhere. But unfortunately, I think they might be going somewhere. We can't have that, because if you shift load during travel, you can flip your whole boat over. Piece of piss.
A couple of extra tie downs later, and the only thing stopping the boat from leaving is the skipper, who's become quietly distracted now he's found the butterfish.
Spearfishing's a lot of fun. It's really hard to drag yourself away when you're on a good run.
Yeah, come out. Now go. Yeah, now hit it.
Finishing up packing the dough labs, Dwayne's younger crew members are performing some questionable maneuvers.
I'm a digger driver by trade. Jokes, I'm not nothing by trade. Try and get behind it there, boys. Like the fucking rut in the rugby, alright? Yep, that's it. Sweet ass, beautiful.
With time to kill until the skipper returns, Storm reflects on one of the more peculiar happenings of the day.
You found a friend?
Yeah, a bird.
Oh,
I
really?
met this bird. Yeah, it was like
What's his
it was
name?
like his name's Michael. He was like swimming around me, and I'd dive down, and then I'd come up, and he'd be like right there, and he'd be like kicking, and he'd like his feet would be like tacking me, he'd be like crazy as. I'm just gonna go catch up with my pet Michael. He's a albatross something. I'm not sure what actual species he is, but yeah, he's been following me around all day, and quite a nice, cool wee bird. So I'm gonna go jump in and have a play with him.
Although Michael resembles an albatross, he is in fact a giant petrel. They are aggressive, opportunistic scavengers that are known to eat penguin chicks. It's more likely that Michael was trying to steal Storm's spiky gold than he was being friendly.
Why the fuck would you call him Michael?
Because he looked like a Michael, didn't he, Peachy?
Yeah, Michael.
He looked like a Michael.
Okay, I look like a Michael. Michael the bird. The original.
Finally back from their afternoon safari is Team Dwayne. They've had a very enjoyable end to the day.
That's good. Pretty addictive, that shooting fish, eh? Just see one, you shoot one, and then you want to shoot another one, and time to get home, nah, just gonna get another one more, just one more.
Nabbing a full bin of butterfish to add to Dwayne's total, this has proved to be a very productive day indeed. Chugging out of the green islets, Dwayne has a chance to reflect on the last 24 hours.
It's been a pretty good trip all around, actually. Enjoyable diving for winter diving, because usually in winter it's pretty shit down here. But no, it wasn't too bad. It was clean and a few urchins around. Heading back to Bluff now. This is the same time we left yesterday, so we'll be there just after 1:30. We'll go and unload, and then we'll probably head back out.
Good weather sees the southern leader arrive back at Bluff to unload by 1 a.m, and Dwayne couldn't be happier.
Been there tired for the last 6 hours, just pushing it. Perfect trip home.
As the crew unload, the final tallies are in. Team Storm collected 6 dough labs, earning him $800.
6 dough labs, which is a pretty good day for me, really. So I'm pretty stoked with that in the end.
Team Raymond, with 7 dough labs of slightly fatter urchins, made him $1,000 for the 36 hours at sea.
That's my one. Good. Here's our blue tag, John.
And Team Dwayne's 5 dough labs earned them $700, plus the butterfish, which made them an extra $500.
Turned out to be a great trip. Boys got everything we needed and a few bonuses, so tick that one off.
This order might be complete, but for Dwayne, the fun is only just getting started.
On the way home, I got a message that a big order had come in and we needed to fill it urgently. So we're heading out again in a few hours on the Sand Nick, but I'm going to have to find some more divers.
Glenn and George have already counted themselves out, which means Dwayne has just half a day to find replacements or face coming up short on the order. After arriving back in Bluff at 1 a.m. this morning from a fast turnaround mission, now Dwayne is faced with an even bigger challenge.
On the way home, I got a message that a big order had come in and we needed to fill it urgently.
The order is for 30 dough labs and they are needed in the next 48 hours. This means the jaded crew will have to head out again just a few hours after they've finished unloading. The southern leader isn't big enough for an order of this size, so Dwayne is prepping the San Nicolas for the expedition. And after a few calls, he's managed to convince one of the crew's most likeable characters back to the team.
I'm on my second flight for the morning, on my way down to Bluff to surprise the boys. It's going to be an exciting time to see them again. Yeah, it'd be good to get back into the old wetsuit, a few cobwebs on it, stretch the lungs out and see if I can outdo them.
For the moment, Dion's arrival is a surprise. And Dwayne is pretty chuffed with how things are shaping up for the mission.
Boys are going to load up and have a good day. Just the winter diving we can have.
Winter diving. This year it's been awesome, eh? We just had northerlies predominantly. It's been warm as fuck, beautiful water, real clean water. And it's probably one of the best winters I've had in Southland in my past 3 years. So, yeah, awesome.
Red Dog isn't faring quite as well as his crewmates, however. The washdown hose seems to have collided with his day bag.
Okay, looking, that's the only one that's wet.
The windshield.
Oh, no, that'll dry quick.
Oh no, your undies are all wet and everything else that's in there.
Engine room, my G.
Yeah, quick, go chuck them in the engine room.
On top of the wet bag of clothes, Red Dog quit smoking all a few minutes ago.
Saying that you didn't want to get wet.
Just as tobacco, eh?
Oh, well, no.
You had your last hurry.
I did have my last hurry. Yeah.
He's planning to go cold turkey for the trip and has a very good reason to do so.
I got a baby on the way, trying to quit the smoking.
When was that?
It's gone just before, 5 minutes ago.
Rightio.
And I have more money for my family, and yeah, I just want to be healthy for my kids. You know, you got to set a good example, sort of thing. But it's hard. It's not the easiest.
So you got nothing on the trip? Fuck.
That's what I wanted. Tried to make sure nobody else on the boat had smokes either, so I couldn't even try and hustle them.
An admirable notion indeed, but considering this is a man who once said,
Caffeine, nicotine, mate, I don't run without it. Gotta have it.
the true testament to those words awaits. Hopefully, a little distraction that Dwayne has arranged will curb the cravings.
Pretty excited, eh? See the old girl again, or San Nick.
That so fucking looks like Dion. Does it? Oh, what the fuck?
Couldn't stay away.
How you going, bro? You right?
Yeah, all good.
Fuck yeah.
Good to see it. Who's on my bed?
I don't know.
Dion's return couldn't have come at a better time and will hopefully be the boost the dog-tired crew will need to fill the order.
Been logging back up on the east coast to Gisborne. Yeah, just working hard, paying the bills.
Right. Raymond missed Dion's big entrance and is still unaware of his old buddy's presence.
A bit of a stowaway.
Oh,
A bit of a stowaway here.
Oh, no way. Hey, he's getting on. He's home. How cool is that? Yeah, boy.
Oh, it feels real good to be back. It's home away from home on here. So it's yeah, good feeling for me.
Do you want to go and get a box of piss now?
Yeah, I reckon, eh?
Shit, awesome.
Just keen to get down there, get some winter diving in. No sharks around, so nothing else on the edge of my mind at the moment. Just get out there and hook some kinner.
A quick catch-up down the local pie shop reveals Red Dog isn't the only one planning for more than his own future.
Oh, having a baby.
Old Daddy Dion.
Oh, hope so, no.
A perfect incentive for Dion to push hard and get rewarded with a big paycheck. All aboard, and the San Nicolas sets off on a crystal clear winter's afternoon.
Pretty nice out here today, isn't it? Don't often get it like this, so pretty enjoyable when you're steaming along and it's this flat. Don't have to stress too much and you sleep easily anyway.
It's definitely a stress-free feeling amongst the crew. And the weather isn't the only thing to celebrate coming up for divers Chops and Storm.
It's my birthday tomorrow, yeah.
It's my birthday the day after.
And then it's his. How old are you? 17? Wow, man. One more year until you're...
Then I can piss up.
You can actually piss up.
As the San Nicolas enters the open ocean, skipper Dwayne gives us the lowdown on where they're off to.
We're heading into Dusky this trip, right up. It's 14, 15 hour steam from Bluff.
Dusky Sound is a seriously long voyage from Bluff, 6 hours beyond the green islets they just returned from. This is a high-yield spot, and as long as they get there early, they should have no problems filling the order.
Big crew this trip. We've got full crew, 5 divers, 3 dinghy boys. So we're going to have a big day tomorrow and come home. With winter diving, and we've got less hours in the day, so we've got to be in the water early and as soon as it comes light, and then right till dark pretty much. But probably only 7 or 8 good hours of light when we're diving. So we'll have a big crew, lots of divers in the water, and safety in numbers.
Although the weather outlook is amazing for the next 24 hours, things are set to change quickly after that.
The weather's turned into crap big time on the day after, so I want to be home before the storm hits. It's turned into absolute custard.
The forecast for their return is predicting a 6-metre swell, pushing against the tide. For now, though, it seems everyone is united in enjoying the calm before the storm. But in this part of the world, conditions like this never hold for long, and the crew of the San Nicolas are about to find out just how powerful Mother Nature can be. Next time on Spiky Gold Hunters, the season ends with a diving frenzy. In freezing conditions,
There's snow up on the mountains there. Cold ice melt coming down through the gullies.
collecting huge riches
Makes you kicking your ass.
Yeah, that's a bit better.
comes with massive consequences.
Taking a few waves over the front, quite a bit of water on deck, just come down the back.